Welcome to the Haunted History of Nevada. This list of 10 is part of a playlist of gentle listening spooky collections from across the USA. The screen fades to black so you can enjoy the stories without distractions if relaxing or studying. Please do consider a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. First is the Yellow Jacket Mine in Silver City. Known as one of the most haunted places in Nevada, it may be due to a fire that ripped through the mine on April 7, 1869. The methane fire broke out 800 feet down below ground level and killed more than 35 miners. Research showed that an unattended lamp was the cause. Not all of the bodies were able to be recovered, which is perhaps the reason why up to 11 spirits are still said to be haunting the mine. Today, all that remains of the mine is the wooden top incline chute and the head frame. Down at the bottom of the hill, though, there is the wooden workers' break shack, which is now part of the Gold Hill Hotel and is rented out to guests. At number 2 is Abraham Curry House in Carson City. The Abraham Curry House was built in 1871 by Carson City founder Abraham Curry. Unfortunately, he died in 1873 from a stroke, so he didn't have much time to enjoy it. However, it seems that Mr. Curry has been returning to the house ever since his death. His apparition is said to be so clear that you can instantly tell it's him. When seen in various parts of the mansion, he seems to be looking for something, perhaps his family, perhaps paperwork or valuables. The house is currently a private law office, and many of the staff still see Mr. Curry wandering around the property. Remaining in Carson City, Nevada for number 3, we have the Governor's Mansion, which was first occupied in 1909 by Governor Danvers S. Dickerson and his family. It's now said to be haunted by his wife, Una, and their daughter, June. Or another view is that a donated grandfather clock came with 2 female spirits trapped within the timepiece, and they're the 2 ghosts who are seen. The woman is seen in a white dress, being followed by a young girl, the most often seen on the 2nd floor. A 3rd spirit of a man is seen, thought to be Governor Jones, because he enjoyed his job so much during his term. His footsteps can be heard as he walks up the stairs to the 2nd floor. Also, a cold breeze may be experienced next to the grandfather clock or a mantel clock on the 1st floor, and doors in the parlour will open by themselves. At number 4 on our list is a whole town. A ghost town called Rhyolite sits in the Bullfrog Hills and was a boom town when gold was discovered in the area in the early 1900s. More than 5,000 people moved to Rhyolite, and some of them seem to be still there. Visitors report encountering a brown shadow man, the ghost of a former prospector still hanging about the town. The brown shadow man isn't the only gold mining ghost, which is probably unsurprising for a mining town. People also encounter a miner with a mule heading into the hills, and see another apparition that vanishes as soon as they spot him. Rhyolite is about 120 miles west of Las Vegas and still contains many of the buildings from the era which can be explored. At number 5 is the Westgate Hotel in Las Vegas. Formerly known as the Las Vegas Hilton, the building suffered a disastrous and deadly fire in 1981 that claimed the lives of 8 people. Those poor souls are not the biggest attraction, mind you, for ghost hunters at the Westgate. Its big claim to fame is it was a favourite of the king himself, Elvis Presley. It seems like Elvis may not have left the building because it's said to be his ghost that is haunting the hotel. From July 1969 until 7 years later, Elvis set, broke and reset numerous world records with his performances for 2.5 million fans. Some say that this was the site of his greatest success, so it makes sense he'd want to hang out there. Ever since his death in 1977, Elvis's spirit has been seen and heard at various places within the hotel. One great ghost story is about a tribute medley of songs sung by Wayne Newton shortly after Elvis's death in 1977. Newton said he was singing with just one spotlight on the stage and it was on him. He looked away slightly to see what the crowd thought of his tribute, and when he took a look at the balcony area, he saw a man coming down onto it. He thought it was odd since it was supposed to be a closed area, but Newton recognized the man almost immediately. It was Elvis. He said Elvis looked him right in the eyes and smiled peacefully. For number 6 is the Mountain View Cemetery in Reno. The cemetery dates back to the 19th century and is where many Civil War veterans and pioneers are buried. Rumour has it that the older parts of the cemetery are the most haunted. Perhaps the settlers never did settle because there have been reports of shadow figures standing between the gravestones. This particular cemetery has been in the news in 2025 with a new bill due to change laws in October. The problem was someone upgraded a walkway for people to better access especially the Muslim section of graves, where previously there'd only been a dirt pathway that was difficult to navigate after rains or in winter. The upgrades were removed by cemetery staff, which prompted action at the highest levels. Assembly Bill 350 ensures the state cemetery's grass areas are regularly mowed and access is improved to difficult to get to areas of any cemetery. At spot number 7, a bit of fun on the haunted ghost train of Old Eli. The Nevada Northern Railway Museum in Eli is a historic passenger railroad with century-old steam engines. Its museum contains original railway locomotives, rolling stock, track, and buildings that served the region's copper mining operations. Themed rides are offered, with the last 2 Friday and Saturday nights in October being their haunted ghost train of Old Eli. Passengers can witness headless horsemen, hitchhiking ghosts, haunted tunnels, creepy campfires, UFOs, and more. At number 8 is the Boulder Dam Hotel. It was constructed in 1933 to accommodate official visitors, dignitaries, and guests during the construction of the Boulder Dam, which was later renamed the Hoover Dam. The 2-story concrete block hotel served as Howard Hughes' home while he recuperated from his Lake Mead plane crash in 1943. One former employee reported hearing strange sounds, laughing, talking, and music coming from the ballroom and restaurant when they were both closed. On another occasion, a strong scent of cigar smoke wafted nearby. This same employee experienced the sound of water running as he walked by one of the bathrooms, and, when he took a look, nothing there, he was leaving, and the door slammed sharply behind him. Finally, on several occasions, he reported that the elevator's doors would open for no reason when he was in the basement. Other reported paranormal activity includes the feeling of a ghostly hand on your shoulder, as well as ghostly hands protruding through the floors that grab guests and employees' ankles. For number 9 is the Hoover Dam itself. At 70 stories tall and 660 feet thick, it's the most famous dam in the USA. But another fact is that at least 96 people died during its construction. 42 of those were recorded as being from pneumonia, which seems more than a bit excessive. A popular consideration is that they were killed by carbon monoxide poisoning instead, and listed as pneumonia to avoid compensation payments to families. Unfortunately, several people have chosen to off themselves by jumping off the dam as well, leading to several extra fences and other measures to help stop such things happening. As a result of all the deaths, there are reports of hauntings at the dam, with workers saying of tools going missing and footsteps heard in the facility itself. There's also been an apparition of a man dressed in old-fashioned workers' clothing who's been seen in restricted areas. Finally, for number 10 is the Pioneer Saloon in Goodsprings. Opened in 1913, the Pioneer Saloon is the oldest bar in southern Nevada. One notable feature is an area on one wall where 3 bullet holes pierced the tin lining, which happened when shots rang out during a card game. The bar was also witness to a bartender taking his own life in front of a room of customers. Many have reported sightings and noises in the bar, including the gunned-down gambler, also someone called Ruby's ghost, and the actress Carol Lombard. One fun part about the Pioneer Saloon is that it serves ghost burgers and Bloody Marys. Thank you for joining me on this little journey. From Elvis to ghost burgers, Nevada has an eclectic mix of spirit activity. I hope you'll be around for the next one.